Ejo Suzuza. Arise for Ghana, operation of the land, forward and seek your future, development our goal, from vision to victory, the Ndc shall lead, able Democrat, Ghana. Our strength in unity, from vision to victory, the Ndc shall lead. Stable Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. Ejo Bana. It's our land. Victory is our land. JJ is a winner. Arise for Ghana. Of the drug of the land, forward and secure future, development our goal, from vision to victory, the Ndc shall lead.
The studio here, the National Youth Organizer, George Opare Ado, Esquire, lawyer. You are welcome to London.
Thank you.
I've also got in the studio Chief Biney Nixon, the Deputy National Organizer of the Ndc. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I've also got with us here the Deputy Women's Organizer of the Ndc, Elom Abigail Mensah. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you very much.
Without wasting time, I'll hand over the microphone to them, and then they will tell us what they have brought to us from Ghana and what their purpose is here this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening to everybody listening to us. Good evening to everybody watching us. Like our communication officer rightly said, this evening we are here to speak to pressing issues that are affecting Ghanaians, both home and then those living in the diaspora. I'm here with the Deputy National Women Organizer, Abigail Elom, and then the Deputy National Organizer, Chief Biney. We'll be having an interactive section with media personnel here in the UK. We will speak to issues. I am here as a National Youth Organizer to inaugurate 10 UK. But as part of our inaugurations, we decided to have media engagements with the media and then speak to issues back home, issues that are affecting the good people of Ghana. Fellow Ghanaians, let me borrow a few of those words. Today, fellow Ghanaians have become a symbol for corruption. When we speak about the hardship that confronts the average Ghanaian today, families cannot afford a day's meal, not to talk about a 3-course meal. Our country is gradually retrogressing. The country that we all hope and pray to build, rather is being dismantled by this Muhammadu Bawumia Akufo-Addo-led administration. In the last 1 year, after the 2020 elections, Ghana is retrogressing at a faster rate than we could even imagine. We are here this evening to speak to the challenges that are confronting all of us. The issue of corruption, the issue of profligacy, the issue of how our country have become insecure. The rate at which robbery cases are being reported daily. the number of innocent lives that are being lost. And the most worrying aspect of it is the problem of unemployment. As a national youth organizer, I look into the faces of many young people and I ask myself, what is the future of our country? Not too long ago, our Minister for Finance, who is supposed to be the holder of the exchequer, told all of us that today, government payroll is full. So government cannot engage many young people. Rightly so, we have no difficulty when government says it cannot engage young people, because we believe that we should be inculcating some level of entrepreneurial spirit into young people. Unfortunately for us, this government has refused to create that enabling environment that will make entrepreneurship develop and encourage many more young people to go into it. The future of Ghana looks very bleak. In April 2021, when the National Security launched its policy statement and its document, one of the many challenges they spoke about, and one of the security threats they spoke about, is the issue of unemployment. In the last 3 weeks, almost all our security services started by selling out forms, and then they decided to recruit people through the processes. We saw the number of Ghanaians who thronged the premises of these security agencies. Clearly, there is no hope for these young people. And this is what we are calling upon our government to help fix the many challenges that confronts us. In the last 5 years, the Mahmoud Bawumia Akufo-Addo government have borrowed in excess of 300 billion Ghana cedis. Unfortunately for all of us, all the excessive borrowing that they have borrowed goes into recurrent expenditure. Today, when you take the balance sheet of Ghana, we are in a deficit. The last rating that came from Fitch still gave us a negative outlook. What it simply means is that this government borrows to spend on recurrent expenditure. This government borrows to pay salaries. This government borrows to make sure 300 Ghanaians are flown to Glasgow in business classes and first classes through presidential rental jets so that they can waste our money. The challenges that confront us is that when the government is borrowing and the borrowing is not going into capital expenditure, then you ask yourself, how are we going to pay for all this excessive borrowing? In the last 2 weeks, Ghana was on the international bonds market, and we performed abysmal because the international community, the international business or investment community have lost confidence in our economy. If we don't do anything about the current happenings in Ghana, I fear for the future of Ghana. And it is so pathetic that young people can't find jobs. And anytime unemployment is at an alarming rate, it breeds instability in the country. So the insecurity that we are encountering today is because there are no jobs for young people. And we are calling on the Akufo-Addo and Mahmoud Bawumia to fix the job market. Young people demand jobs because we elect governments so that governments could help fix our problems for us. We don't elect governments for governments to become a problem for us. Unfortunately, we elected Akufo-Addo and Mahmoud Bawumia, and today they have become a problem for the average Ghanaian to solve, and this is unacceptable. What we are asking everybody to do is that let's take away our political biases and let's think about Ghana. Let's wear the patriotic cap first and foremost. Let's think about how we can make Ghana work again. Let's forget about where we come from. Let's forget about ethnicity, religion, and tribe. Let's begin to see ourselves as Ghanaian first and foremost and begin to deal with the issues. Because if we begin to appreciate ourselves and consider ourselves as Ghanaians, then we can come together as one people to call this government out and ask them that they fix the many challenges that confront us. Apart from the issue of unemployment, the worst canker is corruption. This is the most corrupt administration that has ever been elected into office. Right from His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo to his last appointee, they are all corrupt and you cannot leave anybody out. This is unacceptable. This is not the social contract we signed with them. The day we decided as Ghanaians to elect Akufo-Addo and his administration, we did not elect into office a bunch of criminals. We did not elect into office a bunch of hungry people who were coming to steal our monies. But today, that has become the order of the day. The question you ask is, who is stealing the most? whether it is the president or his appointees. Colleagues, we are here this evening to tell our brothers and sisters in the diaspora that Ghana is for all of us, and we are calling upon you that when they come here, march up in your numbers and demand accountability from them. When your president is flying a £15,000 an hour aircraft, then you are in trouble. When your president decides that the aircraft that Ghana owns is not fit for purpose for him because he cannot take a shower whilst in the air over a 6-hour flight, then your country is in trouble. When today, pregnant women will still have to sleep on the floor. When today, hospitals that were almost near completion have been abandoned and equipment have been left into the sun to rot, then our country is in trouble. This is not about NDC, this is not about NPP. This is about Mother Ghana and how you and I can make Mother Ghana work again. That is why we are here this evening to engage you. I will leave it here, and then if the media has any other questions to ask us, and I also ask Chief and then Abigail to also come in to add on to what we just said. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawyer George Opari, National Youth Organizer of the great NDC. It is important that we remind Ghanaians that we have been deceived, and it is our collective responsibility to come together and make sure we rescue Ghana, our motherland. I'm saying we have been deceived because President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo told us that the NDC government then was borrowing too much. Today, as we speak, President Akufo-Addo has borrowed over 220 million Ghana cedis. And President John Dramani Mahama, who worked with 50 million, today people have realized that indeed the person who told us that is going to protect the public purse is doing otherwise. It is our collective responsibility. In fact, this is a communal labor that we must all come together and make sure that wherever we find ourselves, we speak this good news to the public, especially Ghanaians, for them to come together and realize that it is about time that we rescue our country, Ghana. We cannot sit and look at the country go this way. We only will have to come together and fight hard and make sure that all the things they told us we demand. Recently, the president was in the central region where I come from. In their manifesto, according to the vice president, they were going to build a harbor. The president also go and speak for a fact that he promised a landing site, but not a harbor. He comes to Accra and said, oh, I did a mistake. Then it becomes clear that the president and the government is a mistake. And if it's a mistake, what do? We must make sure that we all come together once again and vote the NDC. The NDC is doing reorganization. That is why we are in England. The youth organizer said it. He's going to have a program launched that has to do with TAME. The women wing are here. We want everybody listening to us to know that the only party that can rescue Mother Ghana is NDC. For that matter, they must come together, work hard, listen to what is happening home, and ask questions. Because we were told that we are going to get a better Ghana than what the NDC was giving Ghanaians. Today, the exchange rate is high. People living in abroad can't even send their relatives items to go through the port and harbors to take delivery because they must change dollars and get these goods out. And it is high. Pounds and get it out. And it is high. How do we rescue this situation? We only can do that by making sure that this incompetent government is voted out of office. And how do we do it? We start right now by letting Ghanaians know, exposing the government. Today, fuel prices are high. In Ghana, we cannot buy fuel. Everybody watching this program, especially those who have relatives in Ghana, can talk to them and find out. Drivers, 16 groups have come together to demonstrate because fuel prices are high. This government promised us that it's going to make fuel prices low. What has happened? We are rather seeing the prices of fuel going up high every day. They have increased fuel 9 times. 9 times in a year. And if we have a country like this, how do we survive? Fellow Ghanaians, fellow Ghanaians.
The symbol of corruption.
Fellow Ghanaians.
The symbol of corruption.
This evening, we are coming into your homes. We are borrowing the words of the president. And all we are telling you is that let's come together. Let's come together and rescue our Ghana that Kwame Nkrumah built. From Kwame Nkrumah to John Dramani Mahama. The monies we borrowed, President Akufo-Addo has quadrupled that. And we cannot find any hospital to point out and say President Akufo-Addo built this hospital. We cannot find any new school, no new university. Others built, and he was supposed to add something as he promised. But that is not what we are seeing. They told us that John Dramani Mahama is corrupt and that the NDC government is corrupt. Today, what are we seeing? A whole PPA chief executive officer creates companies and then issue contracts under this government. And today, we are still waiting for President Akufo-Addo to tell us what he is doing to this chief executive. There is nothing. You all heard what happened with the Boss saga. You all heard the PDS. ECG has been there from the inception of Ghana. President Akufo-Addo and his team comes and they say, look, what we want to do is to bring a private person. We told them that they must make sure that they go through documentations very well because this is the only property that the state owns. They must look at it. When they say, oh, we're doing all we can. They came back to tell us that, oh, they have detected that there is fraud. There is no prosecution. And so today, the protecting of the public purse has become something else. The public purse is actually leaking. It is as if one is fetching water in basket. And if you fetch water in a basket, you know what happens? It leaks out. How do we rescue Ghana? We must come and speak to Ghanaians. Ghanaians must understand that politics is not deception. You don't tell the people that reckless borrowing is what you are coming to fight against, and you come and borrow more than any government. You don't tell Ghanaians that I have arrested the dollar and giving the keys to the IGP. In fact, the keys is in the pocket of the IGP, and today as we speak, the dollar is all over. It's not under any lock. The vice president now decides to run away from the economy. He said that if the fundamentals are weak, the economy will expose you. How is the economy now? You are leaving the economy and go and do digitization. You cannot leave the economy because you promised to rescue Ghana. You promised to make things better. You promised to give us a better economy. And so that is what we expect. I will hand over the microphone to my sister Abigail to add a little if she has a word. And then we come back to the journalists and listen to the questions that you have for us. The national chairman of the NDC, the general secretary, the 2020 flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, sends their greetings to you. And they want you to know that the NDC is as strong as before. And we would like you, the media, to help us for the whole world to know. Go by what the president said and let's match him according to his word. Let's find out whether he is delivering so that the people will know that it's not about NDC, but it is about Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Barney.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and good evening to us all. I think that I'll just continue from where my boss ended. I believe that the men are doing the job for the women.
Good.
This is supposed to be a women's fight because you see, when fuel prices go up, it is women that suffer. When the dollar goes up, it is women that suffer. So if the men are now speaking to us, then it means that we the women, we have to rather encourage ourselves and then come and speak out aloud. Because when you go to the market now, I'm sure the men here will testify that your wives are complaining that the money you are giving them is not enough. Those of you who are not married, I'm sure your girlfriends are fighting you because the money is not enough. It's true, the money is not enough. Because you go to the market now and something that probably you bought maybe 2 cedis yesterday, you go today and then it is 5 cedis because the fuel price is going up. When the NDC was leaving office, fuel was 14 cedis. Now we are hitting 30 cedis. 30 cedis. That is double the price the MPP came to meet. So who is now incompetent? Bawumia some time ago was calling His Excellency John Dramani Mahama the incompetent one. Now I don't know which word we can use to describe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, since His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has taken the incompetent title. Now we need a word that is more serious than incompetent. I believe that it is time that women in Ghana, we stand up. When we did the last population census, it says that the women population to the men, women are more than men. I think about 52% of Ghanaians are women. So if women, we come together, that we are going to fight to save our motherland, I believe that we'll be able to do it. Like Chief said, we have to forget about our political differences. We don't have to look at the fact that I am NDC, I am MPP, I am PPP, I am whatever. At this point, it is the survival of Ghana we are looking at. And then when we look at this government, they are in to destroy Ghana. They didn't come and save Ghana like they promised Ghanaians. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I believe, is just fulfilling his childhood fantasies of when he was a child, I think he was told that he would be a president. So he's just experimenting it, because you can't have a president who, anytime an issue comes up, he's either not aware or he was misled,
or it's a mistake,
or it was a mistake. How can you say that a whole manifesto promise that is in your party's manifesto, you come and tell us that it was a mistake? What were they thinking when they were doing the manifesto? So you see, it's the lies that they came into power with. They lied to Ghanaians. They told a lot of lies against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yesterday, I was watching a video of Captain Smart where he said that he went to Dubai. In fact, President Mahama was accused that he had bought a house in Dubai. He went to Dubai to go and check. We were told President Mahama had accounts in Dubai. He went and he checked all that, and he realized that President Mahama is innocent, and so he was apologizing to President Mahama. I believe it is not just Captain Smart who is in this condition. There are a lot of Ghanaians who feel that they have changed their color TV for a black and white TV, and so we will urge Ghanaians that this is the time to stand behind somebody who has done it before. This is the time to stand behind somebody who has a proven track record. President Mahama has a track. You see, when Akufo-Addo came to government now, just last year, they went to cut sword at Trede, that they are coming to build, is it 88 or 110 hospitals? Agenda 111. And then the project is supposed to complete a year after the sword had been cut. Now we are in November, and 1 year will be April. April will be 1 year since they did that their thing. There is nothing that shows on the grounds that they are even dug foundation to start the project.
It's E foundation.
And maybe we will do E foundation because now everything in Ghana is E. We have everything in E, so maybe we'll do E foundation. You get it? It's very clear that the Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia government came in to deceive Ghanaians. They came in for their selfish interests. They didn't come in thinking about the ordinary Ghanaian. The only party I believe that thinks about the ordinary Ghanaian is the NDC. And we want to promise them, we want to promise Ghanaians, both home and abroad, that given the opportunity again, we will come to continue from where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama left off. I believe that the NDC is the only a sure bet for Ghana in our development agenda. So I'll urge all women in Ghana, all women in the diaspora to come support the NDC so that we can move this incompetent government out of power and bring a government that thinks about the Ghanaian and then thinks about the Ghanaian woman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we are done now. We'll listen to what our friends in the media have to say. If there are any questions, we'll take your questions and then we'll respond to them appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I should stand or sit. Sorry. Thank you.
It's okay.
We thank you for everything that you have been, or your contribution that you've been saying, all the things you have been saying about Ghana and the things that are going on. I would like to ask a question about employment and unemployment. Chief Executive Officer of the National Builders Corps today, NABCO, Dr. Ibrahim Anyes, he said that the program about NABCO has been very successful because it's achieved its aim of amplifying the employability profile of graduates to the employment route. And it's also helping them in terms of training and opportunities in the country and for the future. And he also said that the scheme has been very successful because all the scheme that they set to do and the mandate stipulated by the president has been achieved. Now, what you are saying is that this is not the case. What evidence do you have to suggest that this is not? Because Bawumia and the president is saying that the standard of living for young Ghanaians, they have created over 2 million jobs. And here is what Chief Anya is saying, that the program has been very successful. And here you are also saying that it's been a challenge, and it's been a major challenge for Ghanaians, and there are issues in terms of employment. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have to say much about employment. What you saw on national television a week ago and 2 weeks ago, when the security services decided to open their doors to recruit new people, Immigration Service alone sold 150,000 forms when they could only take on board 2,000 people. When 150,000 young men and women are applying for jobs for only 2,000 people. And we all saw how people were all over themselves during that process. We know that police is supposed to take another two. The total spaces within the security services is 5,000. Yet, over 400,000 young men and women purchased forms looking for jobs. 3 days ago, there was a press conference in Accra about a group called Unemployed Graduates Network that has commissioned itself and started working, putting pressure on government to find jobs for them. The unemployment rates in 2016 today is 5 points up between 2016 to 2021. So if they have done so well with employment, we should have been going down but not increasing. So if you are at 0.5 plus and you are not reducing and you claim you've employed people, so be it. In April 2021, when the National Security launched its documents, one of the biggest threats the National Security identified was the issue of unemployment. 2 weeks ago, the Minister for Finance, the Exchequer, told all of us that government's payroll is full and that government cannot employ anymore. And yet, he also made a tacit admission that government has not created the enabling environment for private sector to take off. In the last 5 years since the Akufo-Addo became president, private sector jobs that have been lost is in excess of over 600,000. So if they claim they've created 2 million jobs, where are the jobs? Why are the people out there looking for jobs? Why is unemployment rate higher than it was in 2016? Because simple mathematics tells me that when you create more jobs, the unemployment rate should go down. But when the unemployment rate is up there and increasing, to the extent that your own document you prepared by your national security admits that unemployment is a challenge and that it is a national security issue. So colleagues, like Baumia rightly puts it, if the fundamentals are weak, the unemployment rates will expose you.
Thank you.
To add to what my youth commander has just said, comrades, it is important that we all take note that success means success. What did they tell us about NABCO? They told us that NABCO was employing 100,000, which we saw them. And that those 100,000 youth will gain permanent employment. Today, as we speak, they have been asked to go on leave. What is success? When you promise me that I'm going to recruit you after you serve for this period, I will give you jobs that will be permanent. And then you do this service and they tell you that go home. And they are not just going home, they owe them. Almost a year in arrears. May the soul of Sir John rest in peace. You saw somebody cursing him. Didn't you see that video on social media? That they have not been paid? Yeah. And today, follow the discussion in Ghana. NABCO, staff or workers call in programs and demand that they have to be paid. You promise that you take these young men and you give them permanent jobs. That is what we are talking about. And so that is what he means. That if you created employment, where are they? They should tell us that the 100,000 young men today, they are in GRA, they are in GMPC, they are here, and the guys will come out for us to know that they have permanent jobs. But when they are telling us that they have not been paid one, they have all been issued letters that they should go on leave. And you come and say it is successful. Is it a success in scamming?
E-job.
Or success in giving our youth employment? I don't understand the success Dr. Anya is talking about here. And so if there is success, you can also confirm. If the guys are home and you are telling me that you just employ them for fun for a period just to tell them to go back home, have you solved the problem? No.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I have a second question unless anyone have anything to ask.
So let's finish it your own and then.
Yeah, go. You can go.
No, let's finish it your own and then we can come to the others.
Thank you. Chief Bani, you mentioned about the togetherness, and NDC is as strong as ever. Today, Zenata Zuto mentioned that
Ezenato.
Doctor, Senator Ajiman Lawrence. Senator Ajiman Lawrence, that's the right name. Dr. Senator Ajiman Lawrence. Appeal to the National Democratic Congress, NDC, to do whatever it takes to bring her mother back to the party.
Okay, that's great.
And she's making this strong appeal, and she feels that it's time for togetherness. But here you are saying that NDC is as strong as ever in togetherness. Is there anything that could be done to bring her mother back, as she's saying? And what are some of the challenges of bringing her back?
Okay, this is actually a very good question and good news. You know why I'm saying that? Because today is the first anniversary of His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. And so if Zeneto, who knows that the mother is a leader of a political party, is calling the NDC to work hard and bring back the mother, it tells you clearly that the NDC is attractive now. And so a leader of a political party who actually formerly was a key,
a founding member
or figure, founding member of the NDC, and the daughter is advising that we look at bringing, that means there is room for improvement. Remember, it is her mother. So it's good news. It tells you clearly that what we are saying, as Senator is saying, that we have to put ourselves together. It is not only about we in the NDC, especially you who stand in the middle, but have an interest because you want to make sure Ghana develops. All of you must give a helping hand to NDC so that NDC will come and continue the good deeds, because it is clear that President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia only came to deceive us. We've mentioned a lot of things here. I don't want to repeat myself. So it's a good call. We welcome that call, and we'll work hard and see if the mother will leave the NDP and join the NDC, because we need our numbers. Thank you.
Okay, I will ask the last one from my side, if then it goes back.
Okay, last one there.
Elon said a lot, the same thing with George and yourself, about all the difficulties that the country are experiencing in terms of the economy. Yeah. With all this, it's only been a year or under a year since we had the last elections. Yes, it's been under a year since we had the elections. And the NDC lost the election. Have you reflected on the main reasons of losing the election? And what strategies you have in place to make sure that this does not happen again? 2016 and 2020, and now we're going to 2024. So what are the main strategies or plans for NDC to make sure that this, at the next election, this does not happen again? Thank you.
Okay. First of all, strategies are not to be discussed with you this evening, but reorganization is a key strategy that we can talk about. That is why you've seen the leadership of the party here in United Kingdom to start reorganization here and make sure the party stands firm so that we can get our numbers to support whatever we are doing back home to win the elections. Economy is actually not the reorganization of the NDC. The economy is what is happening between bread and butter and the pocket of the Ghanaians who are listening. So I want to assure you that we are putting a lot of things in place. That is why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said that the NDC is not interested in going to court, but the NDC is gaining power, and the 2024 elections is going to be do or die. The do is that we're going to do everything possible under the structures of the party to make sure that we have the numbers that can win us elections. And when we do all this, and somebody thinks that he or she is superpower, so they want to overturn the will of the people, that is where the NDC is going to resist the oppressor, and that is where it is called die. Because you won't do and get good results, and you will sit in your office and want to turn it upside down. So we're doing everything possible. It has started here in UK. You can see it back home. There is a lot that the organizational department is doing. The youth wing are doing a lot. They are all over the place. The women wing, they are all over the place. The Zongo caucuses, they are all over the place. The organizational department is looking at the lapses, and we are correcting them to make sure that we don't disappoint Ghanaians. Because if we disappoint Ghanaians this time, then Ghana will be going to ditch, according to my grandmother. Thank you.
Let me add on. When you say we lost 2020, I beg to differ. A party that got 44% in 2016 when we were in government went into an election with 106 parliamentary seats, gained almost 31 additional seats, and even some seats had to be stolen with the barrel of the gun. We didn't lose that elections. We still respect the decision of the Supreme Court But I keep saying that it was a miscarriage of justice. Nobody got 50+1 in that elections. For the first time in the history of Ghana, the Electoral Commissioner had to change the election results 5 different times. On the 9th of December 2020, when you put the total figure together, it's in excess of over 100%. It is not possible. She, realizing that mistake, changed it on the 10th of December. On the 13th of December, changed it again. On the 15th of December, when she was going to Gazette, changed it again. And when she made her appearance before the Supreme Court, came with a total different figure. When you take the total number of presidential votes, there is a variance of 1 million between the total number of presidential votes and the total number of parliamentary votes. What Jane Mercer and Bosman Asari are telling us is that 1 million more people voted for the president and refused to vote for the parliamentary candidates. It is impossible. That is why we keep saying it, that what happened in 2020 will not happen again in 2024. But I want to assure well-meaning Ghanaians that the NDC is ready, is determined and poised to take power by any means legally necessary in 2024. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. I'm Asa Musa from Voice of London Radio and SBL Television. Welcome to you guys. And as usual, anytime we see you guys here, everybody wants to have a piece of you. So I know from now till you leave, we are going to have a lot of places, a lot of mileage to cover. Your last answer brings, in fact, has just brought something to me, something that I wasn't thinking about. If you guys can, respectfully, I use the word guys, but you're
no, I'm a guy, so I'm a young man.
If you can help me to, understand or to alleviate some sort of concern that I have. I've been talking about this for a while, and that is, I wrote an article and I titled it, The Final Showdown. And that is, 2016, when you lost, you came out big and bold with, what's his name, the former, the finance minister, Kwesi Botwe, went round, collected some reports, everything, and NDC made everyone who will listen, tell everyone that, yeah, we've learned some lessons, we've learned our lessons, we know the strategy, we've got everything. Come 2020, for me, I saw the whole thing as though it wasn't the NDC winning, but it was MPP losing, because their own output, their own results, the performance, abysmal, to put it simply. But still, here you are defending what you think has been an injustice or something like that. You are just said it. That the German said you lost, you say you didn't lose. Now, my question is, given that we all know that something happened, to be blunt, they have a lot of leverage over how figures are counted, collated, from the Buga Buga soldier to the Supreme Court. Look at the Ecuador has covered all. So my question, which is to do with safety and security of Ghanaians, are we going to have the final showdown? Because it looks as if you said, do or die. You're not going to give in. Are you going to train your own, well, I don't think it's the right word to use, but your own sort of security agencies to look, and how are they going to perform? Are they going to be armed? Are Ghanaian, is Ghana in, as we say, last minute, in this round, going to see what we call the last, the final showdown? Before I go to the parliament, I have a question in the parliament as well, if you can answer this for me.
Thank you, Mansa Musa. It is true 2024 is going to be the final showdown. And 2024 is going to be the elections that is going to define the trajectory of Ghana. The NDC is not going to train mercenaries, no. The NDC is not going to train its militant wing, no. But the NDC will be ready to make sure that the last ballot is counted at the polling station. because that is what the law requires. The things that happened in 2020, it was out of good faith that we trusted Jane Mensah and Bosman Asare. Because even when you look at the CI 27, the pink sheet, there was a column for people who were verified to be stated on. 2 days before the elections, when Jane Mensah and her cohorts brought the pink sheets, they had left that out. What did they tell us? It is late in the day, and as responsible Ghanaians, and because we loved our country, we allowed that to slide. Ghana has a trajectory. No political party in 4 years in opposition achieved the kind of results this current NDC achieved. Things may not have gone the way we all anticipated, but there is a very popular saying in Akam, that's the manhood of the imbecile. You don't step on it twice. In 2016, we were an incumbent and we lost. In 2020, we were in opposition and we believe the verdict was stolen. We did not anticipate the Supreme Court to come out with that decision it came out with. We did not anticipate that military men will go out there and breach the peace of Ghana and murder innocent Ghanaians. Now we anticipate, and now we know that the MPP will stop at nothing than to retain power. We are prepared and ever ready to make sure the right things are done. When the will of the people comes up strongly and they stand up, no amount of military or police force can stop them.
That's right. Yes.
And I can assure you that what the good people of Ghana are experiencing today, no army in this world can save the Kufuor Mahmoud Bawumia administration. They can bring an army from the moon. The people of Ghana will rise up. And mind you, happenings in Guinea, Mali, and Sudan are lessons for Kufuor Mahmoud Bawumia to learn. So you cannot underestimate the power of the masses. And the Ghanaian will speak boldly. I keep saying it that in 2020, the NDC will go into the elections with our own referee. And in 2024, the NDC will go into the elections with our own referee. Like what Azuma Nelson did against Jeff Fenwick some years ago. He went to Australia with his own referee. We will go into that elections with our own referee. And the margins are not going to be close. We will beat them and beat them very well. Thank you.
Time is well spent, fast spent. So, well, I may have the opportunity to engage some of you in my own studio. So I will just settle with just 2 questions. Otherwise, Man Sabusa has so many questions. I'll have them. Parliament, it all started with the very high crescendo nicely. I mean, not only the NDC side or NDC base, but the whole Ghana, especially the neutrals. Oh, now Ghanaians haven't even seen till then. They have not seen what do we call it? How do we call this sort of group? Thank you. You know you are in my brain. We haven't seen it before, right? And this happened, and everybody's now there's going to be proper checks and balances. The fight, the struggle to even get the speakership and the rest, it's all beautiful. Then, as we say in East London, the damn squid, all of a sudden, things are gone back to business as usual. Everyone is being passed through. Some fisheries woman, very clever, very intelligent woman, passed through. So, well, it's funny we are laughing, but they are very clever because if you go by what the parliament, speaks for, it means those people are very good. But seriously, let's take things serious. How come that the same parliament that started nicely for everyone to be so happy and cheerful have now diffused your own base? I can tell you, your base people are sad, unhappy, disappointed, and everything. What is the strategy to put this right going forward?
I can understand your question, and I can understand how many people within our ranks and file feel when ministers were approved. But the workings of Parliament is slightly different. And you see, what as a party we need to do is to do more education within our rank and file. And then what we need to do is to get our MPs to also come out and educate us more. I know that when some ministers were approved, many of our people were disappointed. But the truth is that for whatever reason, ministers were going to be appointed by the Kufuor Mahmoud Bawumia administration anyway. The constitution mandates that majority of the ministers must come from parliament. Also, Kufuor was not going to appoint any NDC person into a ministerial position. Certainly, it was going to be NPP people that he was going to appoint. What we were expecting was that, as a party, because some of them had committed some atrocities against us, we were expecting our members of parliament to take them to the floor. But parliament has its own rules and it has its own regulations. So at the end of the day, it was subject to voting. And it is voting through secret ballots. So they went to vote and then they sailed through. If you look at the numbers, clearly what most people don't know is that the NDC did not have the numbers that day in parliament, because at that time about 6 of our MPs were down with COVID from the information we got. Apart from that, some were also out of the country on international duties. So there was no way we could have. Meanwhile, the MPP marshaled all its MPs. If I get, as I sit here this evening, tomorrow morning I may not be well. I don't control my health. Sure. So these were the things that happened. But if anybody sits back and says that the NDC currently is not pleased with the workings of our members of parliament, I beg to differ. Because in the last few days, in the last few months, they've gone through a lot of important reforms for the people of Ghana. Some of the issues are not so passionate, so nobody speaks about them. But as I speak to you, it is our members of parliament that have gone to court on this law school issue. That today the Attorney General has had to do a U-turn, asking that all the students who pass should be admitted. That's a big one. Nobody is celebrating this. But it is an NDC member of parliament.
That's remarkable.
As I speak to you, NDC members of parliament are in court over a lot of other issues. There are so many positives happening in parliament, yet nobody is reporting it because they are not issues as passionate as passing of ministers. But I believe that our base have gone past that issue of ministers being approved. And we've resolved that going forward, we will do things more and we will explain more if there was a little more engagement. But the workings of parliament is such that they are not supposed to come out of the chamber and tell us that this is how it's going to happen. They show everything on TV. We all listen to the debates. It will be very kind to our MPs. We saw how they drilled some of these MPs, even through the vetting process. It's in two folds. I'm sure most of you are calling her Hawa Kumsin intelligent because of the drilling she went through. And I know it's an irony. Because we all saw how she was drilled. Even though she may be approved, we expose the inadequacies to the Ghanaian people through the vetting process. And that one alone is a plus to our members. And a lot of them. We saw how the Greek minister embarrassed himself when he came before the vetting committee because of the leading questions people like Muntake and Co. posed to them. He may be approved finally because whether we like it or yes, it's 138, 137. Even though there is an independent candidate, he still sits with the majority. That is how come they have the majority side. So let's give credit to our MPs. They are doing well. The challenges that confronts them, the difficulties, remind you, is a grey area we are having to deal with. For the first time in our history, we've had a hung parliament. People are now setting their minds up to it. People are not coming to terms with it. People assume that because it's 137, they can do anything. It is not right. The business of parliament still emanates from the majority side. So if Ghanaians wants to see the NDC come to power, give us a clear-cut majority and we'll deliver for you. Thank you. What do you like?
Yeah, I think because you mentioned the roots, I mean the base, it's important to note that the NDC members of parliament themselves, came out, spoke to this issue.
And apologized
to the grassroots and told them that they expect more from them and then they will deliver. You see, and when you have sugar and then it pours in the sun, no matter how you collect it, there will be some left. So we have left that issue and we are moving on. There are cases that they have filed And I'm sure very soon we are going to hear about all these things. And then we will know that indeed we have strong leadership in Parliament, and then they are going to deliver. They are really working hard. So that is an assurance that we want to give you, because you are here in the UK, and then you are monitoring. And it's not only the base. I see some disappointment in your face also. But be rest assured that we're going to deliver on that note. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, honorable members, to the United Kingdom of Great Britain. My name is Kofi Mafo, Sir Richie from Hot Digital Radio, and also news editor for SirRichie.com. Hopefully nothing will happen in a disastrous way come 2024 elections, with the mercy of God. And if it escalates to a different level, I believe Chief Bani and Mamia Fiakutu would extinguish it.
That's a good one.
Great.
Who said Sawabroni? Who said Sawabroni?
Without wasting much time, basically, you did mention corruption during the course of your presentation. Most Ghanaians, in actual fact, are becoming more or less fed up, because it appears to be the normal ringing tone every now and then, and the corruption perception index doesn't really spare NDC or MPP. I had the opportunity of interviewing one of your former ministers on radio, and he attested to a fact coming from his angle that he lost his job fighting corruption. I know there will be degrees and pedigrees, there will be different categories of corrupt practices, but what will be the measures that you can put in place to make corruption very unattractive? Well, we are living in the diaspora. Owen, one of the conservative top hierarchy members, is at the verge of losing his position and his job just for using his position to lobby on behalf of someone. We need some drastic measures put in place. We need something that will make the ordinary Ghanaian rest assured. Even though you cannot probably comb out corrupt practices or wipe it out completely, there should be means of facilitating measures to make it very unattractive. That is the pain. That is what we in the diaspora always experience, and especially when I open my phone lines during my political program, that is the norm. That is the type of conversation I encounter here and there. So can you please advise us, what will be the measures, what do you anticipate, what can you do to curb it, and help the nation improve? Someone joins the political arena, the fraternity, in the next 4 years, the person is extremely rich, and especially some of the good people that we live in this country with, you end up realizing that, yes, they can boast of every single cash factor.
They're buying properties all over.
And then you see yourself that how can someone jump the queue in the area of prosperity within 4 years, and you've been living in this country, toiling out of your sweat and labor, you're still nowhere, making the genuine means of establishing or making money. So please, what will be your measure? And just to add one thing to it, we were talking about employment situation in Ghana. My heart was bleeding when I realized people were buying recruitment forms. A citizen of Ghana, yes, of course, I've migrated to this country, and I'm being chased by the armed forces. They've been chasing me since time immemorial. Do you want to join the armed forces? They are begging people here. But we are selling. It's more or less double impact. It is quite unfortunate because you are suffocating the people. They're in quest of seeking something just to put food on the table, and you are yet still demanding money from them. It is happening. Are you willing to change that aspect and make it free for each and every citizen of Ghana? Thank you. Because they're coming to serve you, and they're coming to serve the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I would deal I will deal with the issue of unemployment and the way forms were sold to young people. My Chief Biney here will deal with the issue of corruption. But before I even speak on the unemployment issue, no president has fought corruption like how His Excellency John Dramani Mahama fought corruption. Also, the Corruption Perception Index, under President Mahama, Ghana got its best scores. You can check. The worst performances has been under the incorruptible Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Mamudu Bawumia. President Mahama prosecuted his own appointees for corruption. Somebody just dreamt of making 1 million or 2 million. She lost her job. The anti-corruption document that is in existence today for public sector workers was done, the framework, the legal framework was passed by His Excellency President Mahama. So I'll leave the issues of corruption there. I cannot sit here as National Youth Organizer and promise the good people of Ghana that when the NDC comes, we may not sell forms. We may, but we may not sell forms the way this government has sold forms. We will not sell forms to 400,000 Ghanaians, extort money from them when we know we only have spaces for 5,000. I engaged senior officials quite recently and asked them, why do you sell the forms? And they said, it is to pay for, and listen very well, if I'm lying, if they are lying, I'm lying. It is to pay for the medicals that they go through. It is to also cater for the processes of recruiting that they go through. And that's, once you are taken on board, it is a training program. So it is like when you are going to school and you are buying admission forms. It is a training program. They ask that. But when you are selling forms to 400,000 people, when you know you are going to take on board only 500, then it becomes extortion. You are stealing monies from the pockets of innocent Ghanaians. What I am advocating for, and whoever gets the opportunity to lead the NDC, when we are preparing our manifesto for 2024, if God willing, I'm still National Youth Organizer, expect to see a clause that says in our manifesto that we will do recruitments the way other agencies do recruitment. Nobody will have to buy forms to enter into any security services. Because the reason is that they are coming to serve. And so we will fight it. But like I said, I can't promise that immediately. But we will get to it. The issue of unemployment is a national security problem. I don't expect government to employ everybody. Because government cannot employ everybody. Every country that solely depends on government employing its citizens, that country has failed. Because the biggest employer is the private sector. It is the private sector that must champion employment and become the engine of growth in every economy. Unfortunately for us, ever since Mamudu Bawumia and Akufo-Addo became leaders of Ghana, their first things they did was to go after indigenous Ghanaian businesses, kill them and collapse them. As I speak to you, there is no local bank solely owned, fully owned by Ghanaians. And you know what? It is even a bigger national security risk. You know why? Because if foreign banks control your revenue, they repatriate majority of the interest back. That is how come the CD is dancing as Ogoligi. Clearly, Akufo-Addo, Mamudu Bawumia, Kenoforiata, and all their cronies have failed. The reason why unemployment is on the increase is not because the banks collapse, though. It's because of the trickle-down effects. When one bank goes down, you may think you're only closing down a bank, but you've shut down thousands of businesses. Because if you get a contract from government and an LPO is issued, and most government contracts, they don't even give you funding. It is the local banks that you will go to, and knowing that it's a government of Ghana contract, and government doesn't have the money, they are willing to fund the LPO and give you the funding. These foreign banks that today controls the Ghanaian economy You know why we don't see development? You are the NDC, you saw a lot of construction. Government didn't pay for all those constructions immediately. But once you get the award letter, you can walk to any bank that is Ghanaian owned and tell them that this contract. And then because the ownership is Ghanaian, when they are building a hospital, it benefits Ghana. So they don't mind giving you the money. Because they know that once the money is going to come from government, all they'll ask you is that go back to government and let them issue the award letter in the name of the bank and then yourself. So that payment will have to be paid through us. And that is how come we saw development all over. And when construction, even in advanced democracies like yours, after the credit crunch, how did you bounce back? Through construction, through development. And immediately you award a contract for, say, building of a bridge. You have created jobs for many people. Maybe the main job you would have created is just for 10 people. But that flow, that chain, the one who is supplying sand, the one who is supplying water, the one who is the steel bender, even those who come and sell food at the construction sites. Today, because nothing is happening in the economy, we are rather borrowing. We borrowed over 300 billion Ghana cedis in 5 years. President Mama had access to only 45 billion Ghana cedis. He gave us 12 power plants. He gave us the port expansion projects. He gave us the various hospitals, including the University of Ghana Hospital. He gave us Terminal 3. And these are projects that pays for itself. And the numerous interchanges. As we speak today, the Dankwa interchange, I say the Obechebilante interchange, is part of the 45 billion President Mama borrowed. The Pokwasi interchange that was commissioned by Akufo-Addo is part of the money President Mama borrowed. And all this created jobs for many young people. And I can assure you that the nation builder, the one who believes in the Ghanaian and builds the ordinary Ghanaian, President Mama gave monies to pharmaceutical companies to expand so they can employ more. President Mama was building hospitals all over. That is how come he removed the quota system in our teacher training institutions and then our nursing training institutions, so we can train more nurses to man the hospitals. When he was building schools, he was increasing access, so many more young teachers can be trained. Universities were expanded all over. Even STEM education, teachers who decided to do science and maths, because the future lies in science and maths, were given incentives. That is leadership. That is the leadership of purpose, a leadership that has planned and visioned that this is the way to go. And that is how come we were solving unemployment. During our time, our digits were coming down. Today, it is up +5. So clearly, the NDC has a plan for unemployment. If you look at our 2020 manifesto, the big push was going to take care of the unemployment problem. We're going to put $10 billion into infrastructural development. And when we say infrastructure, President Mama is known as the nation builder. So we're going to do big things, big investment. And we are said in the manifesto that 80% of those contracts will go to Ghanaian companies. When President Mama became president, only 2 Ghanaian companies had capacity to asphalt roads. At the time he was leaving, over 15 companies had gotten their capacities built, giving equipment so they can asphalt roads. So they go and see, they are all over. The equipments are rotting away because the Akufo-Addo has no plan for them. And all these machines are there and are not working. Pharmaceutical companies that were giving money. Poultry farmers were giving money to expand. The Aqua Farms, when KFC came to Ghana, who was supplying KFC with poultry? The Aqua Farms. Rice mills were being built all over because we had a plan of having importation of rice, sugar, and poultry. That one alone takes $200 billion off our balance sheets every year. And we're going to stop that. So the more we invested in our farmers, we were creating jobs for young people. Who started the mechanization centers around the country? President John Dramani Mahama. So many young people were going into it. We were starting cooperatives. So that who set up the Exim Bank? President John Dramani Mahama. So that young people could form cooperatives, get together, access loans, and then use it to build cottage industries so that we can get into the farms and make sure our products don't go waste. After 4 years, who set up the stabilization fund? What was the purpose of the stabilization fund? Today, if not the stabilization fund, after COVID, what would have been the story of Ghana? All we are telling the good people of this country is that let's take away our biases. Let's forget about ethnicity. Let's take it away And let's be real to ourselves, because our country is on the verge of collapse. Another 4 years under the MPP, and we will not even know where our country will be on the map of this world. Thank you.
I think the youth commander has actually dealt with the corruption issues.
No, deal with it properly.
And the perception index, I think you have also, alluded to the fact that under President Akufo-Addo, there's worse. You can't in corruption. President Akufo-Addo is the uncle of John Dramani Mahama.
Our worst performance is their best.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is what I'm saying. His uncle. Are you getting what I'm saying? We are not saints, but under NDC, you saw us prosecuting our own members for issues that had happened that the government then thought that no, this is against what we have asked you to do. And so you cannot say, President Akufo-Addo and John Dramani Mahama's government are the same. In fact, President Akufo-Addo is the chief clearing agent. When there is an issue of corruption, he will clear you. He will just clear you. Haven't you heard the new name? He's the clearing agent. And so please, the two political parties, in terms of forming government and looking at corruption issues, please, President Akufo-Addo and his people, they are too far advanced. That is not the kind of governance that, we gave to the people of Ghana. And we want to assure them that as they've known us, that is what we are not going to build castles in the air like they are doing. And the president will say, I was misled. You have a PPA, procurement. What they are supposed to do is to look into those people who are coming for contract to know that indeed you are the right company to be issued the contract. What happened? What happened before the chief executive was sacked? What has happened today? What has happened? On even Boache Jaku's case, did they tell us anything? When we were telling them about Ameri, what did they tell us? They said, until Bedi too signed the paper. President said he was misled. What has happened? So please, corruption and Akufo-Addo, they are twins. It's not NDC.
They're twins.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from the National Democratic Congress for this opportunity. I'm KB Bossman, but with no Asari, so please don't don't dream or imagine anything.
I wanted to ask if you were a patron.
I'm UK patron.
So from Star Radio UK,
Okay.
and I believe that tonight you've dealt with a lot, but I have a couple of things. I had the opportunity of interviewing one of the NPP guys I think 3 weeks ago, and I'll start off with this particular question that I believe that people in the diaspora are a bit tired of NDC NPP. Please hear me.
Sure.
NDC MPP, because they believe that they are the same when it comes to corruption, when it comes to development, and you've attested to some of the things that the former president has done. Now, the issue is that, do you, as a party, believe that as a country we should have a national development plan that so that no party can touch it, so that the amenities that this plan, the National Development Plan, the amenities or things that the ordinary person, because I believe that how can an employer that employs somebody or the employee becomes more successful and richer within 4 years than the employer? Meaning that the voters have to beg for development, which is out of order. We've seen some recently, one of your MPs, that's one of them.
Social issue.
Yes, and all those stuff. But should you guys think that we should have a national development plan that no party, no matter who you are, you come into government, there are certain things that should be automatic. If NPP starts it, NDC you come when it's, let's say, electrification or roads, so that at least, because I've heard you guys mention that, Honorable Opari mentioned that he believes that we should do away with tribalism. We are all Ghanaians. So if we are all Ghanaians, then I believe that we should also push for the national development plan, so that basic things like roads, water, electricity we shouldn't be begging for these things. Because if we have to beg a government that we have voted to even do what it's required of them, then I think it's out of order. So that is my first question. Second, I believe that the former president, let me put it that way, your flag bearer in the 2020 elections, should he come again, he's got one term. And do you believe that everything that, let's say if it's going to be, you guys are going to rebrand and put things together for your agenda for 2024, do you believe that whatever it's put in your manifesto, you'll be able to execute within that space of time? And lastly, I want to ask that I want to ask that in terms of organization and planning, as my brother said, Musa mentioned, you talked a lot about planning. You talked a lot about organization, and you're in the UK to do that. And come the election times, don't you think that when the match is supposed to be on, your players then go to bed or go into bed with the other team or the referees? So what would you do if you can give us a clue? Because people that are sort of in between floaters will want to go with a party that they believe that are serious. I'm saying this on purpose. Are serious, and they will go by their word to make things happen. So what would you do this time? You've mentioned that you are rebranding, you are regrouping and everything, but if you can give us one single thing that you would do. Thank you.
It's loaded. What's your name again? Senior, what's your name?
KB Bossman.
KB. When you say Ghanaians are tired, are those of you in the diaspora tired of conservatives and Labour? I'm sure nobody's tired of Labour and conservatives.
I must be honest with you.
You want the third force? You want the third force?
The third force.
Unfortunately, it is not going to happen. It's just like the Republicans and Democrats. Our world has become more or less a two-party state. It's either left or right. That is what it has become. But we are all not the same. So I beg to differ when you say we are the same.
Okay.
The NDC and the NPP are not the same. And we can never be the same. Yeah. We are a social democratic party that believes in the rights of minority groups. And we also help develop our rural communities. Rural development is an area the NDC has mastered. The NPP has nothing to write home about when it comes to rural development. So we are not the same. It is the NDC that has elevated most local communities you knew way back to the areas they have become today. Our record on rural electrification is phenomenal. No government can compare himself to the record of the NDC. Today is the exact 1 year that we lost His Excellency President Jerry John Rawlings. He's the master of rural development. The local governance system we have today is what we believed in. We saw how our DCs went through elections. We're not using the military and the police to force people to vote for people. We also saw how we took water and electricity to areas where Buzi and Co have said they can never get electricity because Akosobo could not cover them. So we are not the same. We've seen where we've built schools in communities where schools would never have gone to. Children have to walk 10, 15 kilometers to access classroom education. Under the NDC, we made a policy that no child will have to walk more than 5 kilometers to access education. And we just didn't say it. We walked our talk. So we are not the same. I can assure you that the NDC, we started a national, during the time of President John Dramani Mahama, the nation builder. under the leadership of Nimoy Thompson, we developed a 20-year national development plan, well accepted, so that if any government come, the idea was that this is the plan that all manifestos should fit into. We did that, and we've not departed from it, and we are committed to that agenda. All the projects President Kufuor started, to the extent that when we were even commissioning some of the projects, we invited President Kufuor to be there, the N1. He only assessed the money and left. We came to build the N1, but we never took credit for it. The day President Mills commissioned the N1, he invited President Kufuor to be part of the inauguration. The day the FPSO was commissioned, he invited President Kufuor to be part of it. The first FPSO, the Jubilee Fields. What we did was to show that whatever they started, and I hear people talk about, oh, the affordable houses President Kufuor started. At the time we came, the contracts around those buildings were so bad. But as I speak to you, we completed some, and at the time we were leaving, we are giving the rest to SNIT to complete. We never abandoned any projects that President Kufuor left behind. But now, travel around Ghana. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the videos. Most of your media houses, your private, your partnerships in Accra. Equipments, MRI machines in the sun, wasting away because the NDC started. University of Ghana Hospital became a hotel. The medical hospital, because the government said they could not operationalize it. And now they said there was no generator. When they had excess generators out there, they had to take a young man, one single man, to do a demonstration for him to be arrested. To say that, no, you guys are wasting this facility. When COVID came, they quickly ran to the facility. And when the Minister of Health got infected, he told us that he was there resting. It had become a hotel for him to go and rest. It is that bad. The East District Hospital, and the many ones we left. Go to Ashanti region, the stronghold of the MPP. The number of hospital projects that have been abandoned. The Kumeru Hospital, the day I went by the site, I cried. The Aferi Military Hospital. These are all projects we started, and these are Ghanaian projects. And we expect the NPP to continue. So we have a plan to do the national development. The issue of whether President Mahama can finish his 4 years, all the things he's saying. President Mahama is coming again, so you better prepare yourself. He's coming again. And we will finish it, because you see, the NDC does not lie to the people of Ghana. President Mahama himself has said that if you're expecting me to speak like a Kufuor and lie, I won't do it. Because it means pelia, mentro. The things we put in our manifesto are practical, things that can be done within 4 years. Because he knows that as president, his mandate is for 4 years. When he said he would build 200 secondary schools, Kufuor promised 300. Am I lying? 350. At the time we were leaving, we had completed 46, 123 at various stages of completion. What is the state of those schools today? Kufuor promised 350. Not even one in 5 years have been built. The man who told you he was building 88 hospitals. Cat sword, lead chiefs. He even took Otunfo to Bankra to go and start an inland port or something. What is the state of it? We don't say things we cannot do. That is how come our promises are measured. And I can assure you that whatever we put in our manifesto in 4 years is feasible and it can be achieved. That is why it finds space. And mind you, our manifesto did not come from us. We call it a People's Manifesto because it came from the people. And the people are reasonable people and they know what can be achieved in 4 years. So that is exactly what we did. The last one is the issue of NDC's unity. That one, my national organizer is here. So he will answer that one.
The issue of NDC.
Organizing. I'm sure you can retrace your question again.
No, I mean, he mentioned about
the NDC and
the
reorganizing
and how serious are you to take power in 2024? Because as Musa mentioned, that 2016 you guys spoke well.
But 2016 we admitted we lost the election. We didn't make noise about it.
I just want to make that short.
Okay, that'll be good.
I just want you to understand, like you said earlier, the power of the people is always greater than those in power.
Okay.
If we should win the 2024 elections convincingly as we're going to win, and anybody tries to do otherwise, we will change. chase the crazy bald head out of the house. As simple as that.
Philosophical.
Before I hand,
You know, you can't talk strategy here as an.
no.
I
I mean,
so-
I know he
The strategy will lead into chasing the crazy boy out of the town because the people's power must be given to the people.
okay.
I mean, let's not, waste time on that.
And you see, there is a misconception about the performance of the NDC in 2020. We know the trajectory of Ghana. We know how elections have been held. No political party has gotten the comeback we got in 4 years. No political party. In 2000, when the NDC lost, what was our performance in 2004? In 2008, when the NPP lost, what was their performance in 2012? The NDC dominated parliament in 2000. We even increased our seats in 2012.
Yeah.
The NPP dominated parliament in 2004 and increased their seats. In 2016, we lost over 31 seats. No, we lost less than 31 seats. But the NPP got 31 majority seats. Today, what is the state of the NPP? So we say that something untoward went on. The untoward things that went on was done at the Electoral Commission, on the blind side of everybody. But per the election results, we should be patting the leadership of the NDC on the back. Because leaders were elected 2 years before elections. And look at the performance they gave. 137. The first time in the history. Today, the number 3 gentleman of the land is a member of the National Democratic Congress. It is a party that did not do well. Do you have a number here? Probably is number 3.
I don't have a number.
What's your number?
0. But
Anyway.
I mean that's good.
Yeah,
But I believe that some of your foot soldiers or grassroots
Yeah.
were, I mean, you know that you guys are on the ground, so you know better than myself that they were not happy. They believe that they were let down because of a few things.
We are engaging them,
But-
we are reassuring
Okay,
them.
but lastly, I mean, this is my last question. Do you believe that Ghana, as a country, with the resources that we have, do you believe that we should keep on borrowing from outside? Because you mentioned, and I believe that Honorable Opari mentioned how much, and you also mentioned how much, and my sister here mentioned as much as well. How much this government has borrowed. Your government borrowed. Is the country Ghana going to go on borrowing till when?
You see, let me borrow Dr. Baomia's words.
I'm too
Borrowing to build the country is not the issue.
right.
Misusing the amount borrowed to build the country is the issue. Because all over the world, people borrow to develop. Are you getting my point? When we were in government, they said we were doing reckless borrowing. We mentioned a lot of projects. We borrowed less. In fact, they are doing almost 4 times what John Dramani Mahama did. So borrowing is not the issue. The reckless borrowing, when you have nothing to point to, that this is what I have used the money for, that will benefit the people.
But the borrower is a servant to the lender.
And so
For life,
and so if we have borrowed and we've done projects and the project are paying for itself, is the servant concerned? No, because the project is paying for it. So borrowing is not the issue, but the recklessness. And later you find nothing to point out to say that I borrowed 1,000 Ghana to buy this cap, and this cap is giving a service for you to get the money back. That is the issue. So reckless borrowing is not what NDC did, and we are not going to engage in that. We are not going to promise you that we won't borrow. But we won't borrow recklessly like what President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Baumia is doing now, and they have nothing to show. Or you want to show something for them? Thank you.
Thank you for.
I know you are very tired.
Hey,
It's
are you
10
coming
p.m.
back?
My last one. Because
Oh,
I've not
cool.
heard you talk about it.
Okay.
So this is what makes me came back
Okay.
to ask for this.
Okay.
Transport has been a major issue in our country
Jesus.
since 1957. From January to October, we have had over 3,850 people who have died
Oh, okay, okay.
through accident. I was in Ghana in August, and as I was driving through from Accra to Kumasi, I was driving myself alone because I just wanted to observe things.
Okay.
And the number of accidents I observed on the way was unbelievable. Going to Mampong was worse. Every corner, accident. Some of the cars are not roadworthy, and it seems that we are heading nowhere. But this has been a major issue since 1957 up to today. What is the plans in terms of NDC that will help resolve this issue for us in transport? And secondly,
Kula,
my
I
last
think,
one,
I think
my
we're
last
doing
one.
only one.
Okay, you're doing only one.
It's
Okay,
10
that's
p.m.
fine.
oh.
Okay, thank you. It's 10 p.m.
Kula,
Thank you.
on the issue of accidents, if you look
Thank
at our People's Manifesto, we realize that accidents have become a major challenge. So we propose that we're going to dualize all our major highways, because most of the accidents are head-on collisions. If you look at areas where the highways are dualized, you don't get this head-on collisions. So in our manifesto, if you look at the roads and transport sector, we're proposing as part of the big push. That's why I'm saying that the manifesto is a living document that seeks to address the many challenges that confronts Ghanaians. We're going to dualize almost all our major highways so that we can deal with the issues of accidents. And if we are given the opportunity on the 7th of December 2024, this and many more are the things His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and his NDC will be dealing with. We want to say a big thank you to all of you. Chief, do you want to say something about the accidents?
Oh, that's fine. Pablo, I think we must congratulate the UK chapter. The leadership and the executive are doing a great job. We appreciate what we have seen, and it is clear that if others
And other chapters.
Yeah. We will expect that others will also continue with whatever they are doing. If what we are seeing is what is happening everywhere, then it is clear that the NDC indeed is on the reorganization drive, and there is good news for all of us come 2024. Congratulations, guys, once again.
Tomorrow, the NDC UK Ireland chapter will be launching its 10th organization here in the UK, and we expect many of you to join us at tomorrow's program. Today is also exactly 1 year since we lost our founder, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings.
Gone but not forgotten.
If you want to speak about the democracy of Ghana, if you want to speak about the 1992 Constitution, some of us describe President Mahama as the midwife, President Rawlings as the midwife of Ghana's current democracy. This is a man that took over the realms of the country in 1981, technically 1982, when Ghana had been written off and nobody even wanted to deal with Ghana. Our cocoas had been left in the bush. Our railway network was so bad, he rolled up his slaves, joined students to go and bring our cocoa back so Ghana's economy could bounce back. In 1983, when there was famine, President Rawlings found innovative ways of making sure he ended that drought that had hit us as a people. When Ghanaians were being chased out of Nigeria, he sent the then Black Star Line and Ghana Airways to migrate Ghanaians back and resettle them. This is a leader who decided that he was going to introduce decentralization in our governance structure. Between 1989 till today, the decentralization, the local governance structures we have in place were all built by His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. After 10 years in office, he decided to return the country to multi-party democracy. Many doubted whether he was going to do it. He contested in 1991 and in 1992 was elected the first president of the Fourth Republic. he won overwhelmingly. In 1996, he contested again and won. In 2000, when his party, his candidate, Professor John Evans Atamios, contested as flag bearer of the NDC, who was then the sitting vice president, and lost. President Rawlings, who was coming from a military background, even that elections went into a runoff. So what it means is that the first round was close. President Rawlings could have used the military to brutalize Ghanaians and even send them after his opponents. He didn't do any of that, like what we saw Akufo-Addo do in 2020. Rather, as democratic as he was, he handed over power to His Excellency President John Ejekum Kufuor. President Rawlings rewrote the history of Ghana. Ghana that many thought was a failed state. Today, Ghana's democracy has become a beacon of hope for Africa, that many countries come and study what we have, until Akufo-Addo came and started destroying all the gains we chopped. President Rawlings built our state institutions. There was dignity in the army. Today, the army has lost its dignity because today the army is the one that is killing its citizens. It could never have happened under President Rawlings. That day, that military man, you'd have lost your uniform. President Rawlings came from the military, but during his reign as president, even from head of state to become legally elected president, no Ghanaian life was lost at any polling station. And this is the man today we celebrate. For me, I say his life should be celebrated and not mourned, because he's left a lasting legacy for the good people of Ghana. You cannot talk about the history of Ghana. You cannot speak about the development trajectory of Ghana. You cannot speak about what Ghana is today without speaking about the role His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings played for Ghana. Wherever he is, we say may his soul continue to rest in peace. May he find peace wherever he is. And the NDC he left behind, we will continue and make it stronger, better, and build for all of us a better Ghana that wherever he is, he will be proud of. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Where's Simon? You should come and wrap up for us.
Arise, arise, Ghana, ye patriots of the land, towards a secure
future.
From victory unto victory, the great NDC shall lead
A stable,
democratic Ghana.
I'm sorry. We are no longer on air.
Okay.
So you just spoke about Tay. You didn't say the youth and women program. Why did you do that? You just said Tay.
So you
just
make
said
it.
Tay.
Oh, but we haven't finished.
To start.
When the thing goes off,
JJ is a winner, Ampa. You're lucky.
Okay, so the National Youth Organizer just practiced everyone for himself. God for us all.
it's also being recorded.
So tomorrow's program is not just the teen inauguration. It's both the women's wing and then the youth wing program. The women's wing will be taking our women and everybody who attends the program through a health awareness program, a health awareness lecture. We know the times we are in, and so it will be of a great service to everybody if you come there. Just come and listen, take in something that will help you protect yourself in these times that we find ourselves in. The program, the National Youth Organizer, we all know, is here. Our Deputy National Organizer is also here. Tomorrow as well, we'll have my boss, the National Women Organizer of the party, and then we'll have Prof. Nana Jane Opokwajiman also speak at the event. So it's not a program you can miss. Let's all make sure that we are there on time. It's not the Ghana time we all know. We are starting at 4 p.m. and we are ending at exactly 8:30 p.m. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy National Women Organizer. The reorganization of NDC is on, and so everybody watching this program, like the Deputy Women Organizer said, come help, come join us, and make sure this program becomes a successful one. The venue for the program is the St. Gabriel's College, London Road, SWG 5UL. Thank you so much. Wrap up.
May I take this opportunity to thank everyone who joined us via whatever medium you used. And we're very grateful that you give us the opportunity to be able to reach you and then to bring before you the issues that are confronting our country. We also thank our national executives for gracing the program and the occasion. We are very grateful and you're welcome. The program comes to a close. We're very grateful. We hope to see most of you at the program tomorrow. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Can we go?
Are we off?
Thank you.
Victory! Victory! It's our land! Victory! It's our land! JJ is a winner! Arise, for Ghana, of the trust of the land. Power and secure future, development, our goal. From vision to victory, the NDC shall lead. Stable democrat, Ghana, our strength to unity. From vision to victory, the NDC shall lead. Stable democrat, Ghana, our strength to unity.